into this cash flow quadrant right now. Robert Kiyosaki has made this. Everyone know Rich Dad Poor Dad for the most part. Everyone has read his books. I read it when I was 16, and it changed my whole perspective on finances. And I got more in depth when it comes to this cash flow quadrant, and I actually have it written on a whiteboard, and I teach it to my son, so that he can learn as he grows up, how he can utilize cash flow and income to benefit his life, right? So let's just break this down, right? So E is for the employee. Most people have a job, right? You basically exchange your time and effort for income. Active is on the active income side, right? If you don't work, you don't get paid, right? So we know we got to get up every day and go to work. That is the employee. It is a level of stability. Most people want some type of stability in their lives, consistency when it comes to paychecks. It's not a bad thing. That's fine, right? Let's go down to the self-employee, which is S, right? So if you own an LLC, you create a small business, you would then be categorized as a self-employee, in which you're your own boss, right? And in some cases, what they would say a slave to the business. I don't like using the word slave, but you basically have to, day by day work in your business for your business to succeed, right? So in a sense, you're creating another job for yourself by opening your own business, right? Which is a 1099, to be able to grow an income stream. There's nothing wrong with that. And if I could argue that you should do it, you should do both E and S, if you can, to be able to benefit you long term when it comes to a level of cash flow and income. All right, going over to the passive side, B, big business owner, right? So understand there's a difference between the small business owner, the self-employed business owner, and the big business owner, right? Usually, if you're a B, you're talking about big corporations, you're talking about big business, right? And you have, up to 50 to 100 employees working for you. That is a much bigger business rather than the small business where you might just have yourself or one other person. So the business owner relies on systems that work for the business owner. It's not necessarily based on the active work. It's based on systems, right? They have dependable people, right? That help bring income into the business, right? With or without those people, they're going to be successful because they have systems in place, and they have time to strategically plan for your business and enjoy ultimate life, right? So the CEO, let's just take Jeff Bezos for a second. At one point, Amazon was a small business, right? When he first created Amazon, it was categorized as a small business. It was him and his wife in his garage, building boxes and ultimately sending books out and shipping it to people that wanted to order, boxes online. He then expanded that business to be a big business by opening warehouses as well as, distribution centers and, corporate offices to then expand Amazon to what it is now, which is a absolute one of the most important companies, one of the best companies within the United States. So Amazon was once an active income for Jeff Bezos at one time, but then it became something tremendously bigger to where now Jeff Bezos makes millions and billions of dollars off of stocks and ownership equity, ownership percentages that he has within the company Amazon, but he doesn't actually work. He ain't in the warehouse picking up boxes, right? So it becomes a passive income generator for him at this point, right? So that's the difference. At one point, he was actually building packing the boxes, but now he's no longer doing that, and he's significantly, at a higher place, right? So that's the big business owner, right? Going down to the investor, everybody should be an investor. Everybody. This is a place where you might not necessarily get to the big business owner. Not everyone is going to be Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, right? Steve Jobs, right? Well, I mean, you can say Warren Buffett, but Warren Buffett, played everything from an investor standpoint, and then he created his big business now, which Berkshire Hathaway is Berkshire Hathaway, but ultimately he started as an investor, right? So the investor is someone that makes that allows money to work for you. Doesn't matter if you sleep, you awake, no matter what location that you are in. You can be in another country. It don't matter where you stand, sit, etc. Money is working for you, it's playing for you, and you ultimately are growing income and wealth long term. As an investor, that is what I would call available for everybody. There is little to no excuse in my book for you not to be an investor. You can generate passive income by just allowing money to work for you. And that's not just in the stock market, that's also if you want to invest in businesses, right? So if you ever get to the place where you got a good enough money where someone said to you, "Hey, I want you, can you invest in my business? I'll give you some type of ownership. We might even come out with some dividend payments that we agree upon. I want, I just need some capital to be able to deploy within my business to grow my business while you get some type of ownership within that said business." That's an investor. You're asking for limited partners, right? So if as we look at this, most people are E's, which are employees. And as you slide down to the small business or the 1099 self-employed individual, there are a lot of people that fall in that pot too. Right? There are not a lot of big business owners. It's not built out, not built that way. And last but not least, investor. My opinion is this: you should have three at minimum. You should be a part of three different boxes, at least two, right? You can have a 1090, you can have a W-2, right? This is just for practical for everybody. You can have a W-2, you can own your own small business, and you can invest money as an investor. All three. That's where I currently sit, which is why I have 5 streams of income right now as we continue to grow and see if we can expand that to 6, 7, 8, etc. But at minimum, I got my regular job. I own multiple, well, one, but I'll be opening up another business soon. And then we invest a lot of money every month. That's the only way we can only continue to grow our wealth in a way that makes any practical sense to have financial security and ultimately financial freedom in the future. Right? Another option for you is to be a self-employed. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be self-employed, right? And you want to then, push that capital towards buying real estate and ultimately, owning stocks and getting dividends and things like that. That makes sense too. Right? But find a way to get from the active side of the income perspective to the passive side. And then try to pair those two together to ultimately impact you in a positive way. Last but not least, that self-employed, the 1099 side hustles. Right? There are times where in the past I've worked Uber if I needed to. I did Lyft, obviously. I was kind of did it at the same time. And then I also, did Amazon Flex when I needed to too. When I got to a place in my life where I needed some extra money, hey, go get it. Why not? Right? So my encouragement is to utilize the information that you have been given today. And if you are currently sitting in one of these boxes, how can you move over to the other box, to the I, right? How can you get to that investor box? Very simple. Stock market. Real estate, ownership in businesses. Easy process.